Welcome, Fedi Friends, to episode 26 of Fireside Fedi. I'm your host, Ozoned, and my voice is cracking. Yay, I'm a real boy now. Fireside Fedi is a show about folks within the Fediverse. If you're seeing this, you're a part of the Fediverse. And yes, even you folks that are watching this on YouTube, maybe in the future, hopefully, you are a temporary Fedizen. Welcome. With me today, and I swear this is his real name because I confirmed it with him, is James Smith. James is a generic humanoid carbon unit, tech, democracy, environment, and society instantiated at 332 parts per million, currently building Manyfold, and a site admin of mastodon.me.uk, previously of many different projects that I was not aware of. And his alignment, which I absolutely love this, is chaotic whimsy. James, first and foremost, how would you like to be addressed?
James is fine. Yeah, it's a nice generic name. It's easy.
Yeah.
I forgot how weird my bio was, though. So.
No. I see one person, you might say weird, I say interesting and unique. I love that. That hits perfectly to the target audience you're looking for, right? Like, especially chaotic whimsy. I'm stealing that, by the way.
It took, yeah. I like that. I like that, definitely. Yeah, the generic humanoid carbon unit thing. I think it's Hitchhiker. I think it's a quote from Hitchhiker.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I've read.
I think so.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, it's a brilliant book. I will say, who wrote it?
Douglas Adams.
Douglas Adams. Thank you. I have like a kind of a full massive book and loved Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And then as you read the other books, they're fun and whimsical, but it kind of gets repetitive. Like once you start to learn his style of humor, so I didn't get through it, all of it, but it's still there's still really fun sciencey reads.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just a laugh.
Movies also
British.
great. Very British. Very British. The Brits have a very unique style of humor.
Yeah.
And
I think my dad read Hitchhiker to me when I was like small. So it's probably got a lot to answer for in terms of me.
I need to find my
I've
book.
actually got my favorite Douglas Adams quote just up on the wall out of shot.
What's it say?
It's not from the books, but from I think interview or something that he did. It says, "I love deadlines. I like the whooshing sound they make as they go by," which is lovely because he was never able to deliver anything on time. Once, I think for one of the books, his agent locked him in a hotel room until he'd finished it.
Oh my God.
And then someone's done a play about that, which I haven't seen. But yeah.
That's awesome. But no, you're saying that, and like it didn't even occur to me. I could be reading that book to my children. I will tie them down and make them listen while I read it. I'm definitely going to do that now. They're going to love it, I'm sure. It is, and it's one of those books that it could be read really at any age because it's not overly offensive. It's just silly and whimsical. And I feel like the older you get, you start to pick up on those little nuances and those little jokes.
Oh yeah.
And that we were talking earlier about wordplay. Like I love wordplay comedy. I think it's very smart and that's a lot of my comedy, which my friends that know me just roll their eyes when I say things. But I enjoy it. But anyway, before we go off even more at a tangent, right? Which we are going to do. We've already decided this.
Absolutely.
How did you get to where you're at today?
Oh, well.
Woke up this morning, threw some pants on, and sat down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. I was born at an early age, that kind of thing. It's... Well, I don't know. And when people say,
"Wait,
what's your career plan?" It's like I don't have a plan. What the hell are you talking about?
Tripping from one day to the next.
Yeah, where even am I is a question. No, I've been a software engineer my whole professional career, which is distressingly long now.
A software engineer on the Fediverse? What?
You know,
Shocker.
it's possible. How very dare you? I'm offended on behalf of everybody else. No, I've been a software guy for a very long time now.
Mm-hmm.
It's knocking on 30 years actually, which is quite disturbing.
So straight out of the womb.
Just as
straight out of the womb, because you can't be more than about 30 years old, right?
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
how very kind. No, I'm almost 50. It's terrifying. No, so I did. Yeah, I mean longer than that really. The first computer we got was I was about 6,
Okay.
I think.
Commodore.
And we got a no.
Oh.
No, so we were with it was an Apple II.
Ooh.
Except it wasn't an Apple II. It was a clone of an Apple II.
Okay.
We lived when I was really small, between 5 and 8, like the beginning of the 80s. I lived for 3 years in Seoul in South Korea. My dad was a surveyor in the shipbuilding industry, and he got posted out there. So we were out there for 3 years. So obviously, you didn't, nothing official existed, but there was this. I mean, they published, I think, the Apple II that you can buy the circuit diagram, right? So they built their own, and we got a clone of the Apple II with 64K of RAM.
Never need more than that.
Extremely impressive. No. And and Apple Basic and things like that, and that sort of, got me started and kept fiddling around with it ever since, really. Eventually turned it into a career, and in retrospect, maybe look like I've had some kind of direction, but definitely wasn't there at the time.
So were you always interested in computer? Once you got that initial computer and you saw what they can do, was that something you were connected to, or is it just like, that's something I can do?
Yeah, weirdly, I sort of fell out of it a bit when we came back to England. It broke, and we didn't really replace it for a while, and I sort of drifted out of it for a bit until like mid-teens, I think, and sort of we got a PC and started getting back into it with, oh look, I can play Doom and things like that. So, but then carried on from there. I've got my original Doom floppy disks around somewhere.
No kidding.
I want to frame them and put them in like a shadow box, but I haven't done it yet. It's on the list.
5 1/4, 3 1/2.
3.5.
Okay,
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Four 3.5-inch discs.
I don't even know if they came in 5 1/4 at the time. They definitely, I know for a fact they were not on CD when they were initially released. I had the shareware version.
No.
Like shareware of, I think I got it as a pack, maybe Wolfenstein and Doom.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Blake Stone or something like that.
Oh yeah, that rings a bell. Is that like a Did you have like cover discs in the US?
Cover
Is that
discs?
a thing that means anything? Yeah. So all the computer magazines would often come with a disc on the front.
Right. Yes.
And that would have shareware versions of things and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I've never heard them called cover discs, but yeah, that definitely makes sense. I think
Britishism or something, I suppose.
Or maybe I just wasn't aware of it. I mean, I don't know if the kids around here know, but the internet wasn't always a thing, and we had to communicate face to face.
Absolutely.
It was awful.
Yeah, terrible time. It was, I'm amazed we got through it at all.
The dark ages. And then, so you're doing software development. You're just kind of going through it, and then you're just like, I'm gonna find the Fediverse
that's been a kind of a long journey. I've always been open source was always an interesting thing. I've always been very much about open source and open tools, and particularly over my career developed more of a passion for sort of open standards and open data and things like that, because the web is inherently an open platform, right? The reason the web exploded is not because it was better than anything else. There were other things out there. It's because it was open.
Yep.
It's because Tim Berners-Lee gave it away to the world, right? And that's why it exploded. So, that's an incredibly powerful thing. So I came out of university. Actually stayed there for a while to do a PhD in computer graphics, animation stuff.
You're Dr. Smith.
I am.
Oh, I apologize, sir.
No.
I bow. Is that it, or do I salute? Oh, sorry, it's this.
I think you have to curtsy. I'm not sure. I don't know the etiquette.
I don't have my beautiful summer dress on right now. Sorry, else I would. And my back hurts, and I've never curtsied, so it would look awful, I'm sure.
You'd probably do some kind of injury. Yeah.
So Dr. James Smith Floppy.
Yeah, but nobody actually uses that. It's much like nobody uses my PhD. So I went to. Well, there's a reason. I stayed at university because I didn't know what else to do, and my project supervisor said, "I've got this PhD thing. You could do that." I'm like, okay.
As all academics are, right? Either you don't know what to do or you're afraid. Yep. So like I have my master's because 2008 hit right as I graduated, and I'm like, what do I do now? And it's like, let's just go back for another one.
Yeah.
Pokemon. Exactly. We just got to collect them all.
Yeah, you got to go. Yeah, absolutely right. So that was I started doing that in like 98 and took quite a while over it because I get easily distracted. And because it was all about sort of efficient animation of CG characters and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was working with when we were doing it, all the sort of sculpting of characters was done like with traditional sculpting, like clay and things like that, and then you would make the digital model to match that. And how do you do that? And you use laser scanners and things like that, and then you've got these huge point clouds that you need to animate efficiently and things like that. So it was all about that kind of, how do we make that workflow better, efficient animation and so on. And while I was doing it, they invented GPUs. So by the time I finished, didn't matter.
Again, as academics are, yeah.
It was just, by the time I finished, everyone was slinging around these kinds of things.
You need another 10 years in school to learn what just came out, and by the time you're done, you're still exactly. 10 years behind, right?
Yeah.
It goes too fast.
But it was good. It was got to do some cool things. Went to SIGGRAPH and things like that, which was amazing. Then worked in a sort of spin out from the university with some friends, doing biometrics, face recognition, computer vision stuff, which was cool.
Yeah.
Then I moved on from there, went and worked for a little while in flight simulation. There's a lot of that around here, mostly on sort of the displays side of things. And then after that, sort of thought, okay, I don't do this. This whole web thing looks interesting. I'll kind of teach myself what that's all about properly. And, had web pages since there were web pages, but
oh my God.
But sort of the whole kind of Web 2.0 wasn't yet a thing, but it was starting to sort of go that way, right? This sort of dynamic web thing was emerging, and I thought, let's have a go at that. And so then sort of struck out on my own and did a few jobs around different. I've managed mainly to do sort of. I started working for a charity doing their online web development, and then I've managed to stay in the kind of tech for good type area with things like climate science and through open data, through to public sector tech, and then whatever. So there's this sort of this theme of like open public benefit stuff that's been sort of consistent in my career, and that's kind of led me here, I suppose, because that's what the Fediverse is.
See, this right here is why I love talking to people, because I'm like, oh, what do you do for a living? You're like, nothing big. I just, did computer graphics before it was really a thing. And then I got into biometrics before it was really a thing. And then, I decided that wasn't challenging enough. So I got into flight, what's it called again? Flight simulation, which, we're just trying to map all of physics to a computer. It's nothing big or anything. I had a very boring life, and I worked with. You said you worked with Tim Berners, under Tim Berners-Lee at one point, right?
Yeah. So I worked at a place called the Open Data. Yes, that's true. You do have to say that one.
Yeah.
I worked at a place called the Open Data Institute when that started up, and that was a sort of non-profit set up by, amongst others, Tim Berners-Lee, and we worked on promoting and sort of pushing the open data idea, the agenda. I worked in and eventually led the labs team there, and we built tools for people to use for data publishing and things like that.
And that's people. I think a lot of folks discount building the tools, right? And a good tool, especially on the internet, is transparent. You don't want anyone to have to think about the tool. You want to empower people to make things with the tool. And
so before, when the previous job, I'd done a bit of developer evangelism, developer advocacy stuff.
Yeah.
And we were building a climate science API. And the thing was that, like, I want people to be successful in 5 minutes, right? I want them to have to go from nothing to, that worked in 5 minutes. And then you've got them, right? Because that's what if something's perfect for me, right? That's what I've done. I've achieved something quickly.
Right.
I can see this is going to work. And so we were doing the same sort of thing for data publishing, trying to do that. So a lot of data publishing at the time was around, probably still is, to be honest, organizations setting up like data portals where they were going to put all their information, and it was this thing that they had to set up and run, and there was and it was all very complicated. It involved procurement and things like that. And so we went, well, what if you just put a CSV on GitHub? So we built tools to do that.
Yeah.
And to sort of automatically check it, validate it, push it up, generate some GitHub pages to go with it. There you go, there's your data online in 5 minutes. And so it's that kind of thing. Exactly, getting people successful quickly is what you want. And building good tools is essential for that.
That's again, I'm so humbled to talk to such amazing people, because like that's again, a lot of people completely discount that. No, I want to make the next, Facebook. I want to make the next Twitter. I want to make, the next Spotify, which is great. And I love it. And it should be done. And without good tooling, it makes it massively harder. And that's, we try to remember all of the developers and the admins behind these platforms and things like that, or even, get into Linux. It's not Linux, it's GNU Linux, right? And while we kind of roll our eyes at it, it's not wrong. Without GNU, right, those tools needed to be built, and they're just as important as everything else. And all of those people deserve credit, because, again, without the tooling, and
the only reason we could build any of those things as a small team was because we're standing on top of this massive,
the shoulders of giants,
human achievement of this huge anarchistic open source world of people building things because they wanted to, and that gives you a huge amount of power, and it always has. And I think that was one of the amazing things about Web 2.0 when it started out, before it sort of got co-opted. But what's amazing about being back in the Fediverse now is that it's that kind of place where actually we can build amazing things really fast. I mean, I can build a thing on my own, and that's unbelievable to me.
Well, and that's I've told people, and so many people haven't heard of it, but they heard of like, oh, I've kind of heard of Pixel Fed, or I kind of know I've heard of Mastodon. I'm like, again, I want to get your take on this, and I feel like my audience has heard this a lot from me. Is I think the Fediverse is the next evolution of the internet. I think it's the real Web3, not the blockchain stuff, but I think it has the potential to be the next thing because it is open. You are making you are bundling social media into the web to do with as you please. And we're going to get to Manyfold because I think that your project is exactly that kind of a piece. But how did you find the Fediverse? What were your initial reactions to it? And, do you kind of agree with that statement, or are we all doomed and we should hang up now?
Can I choose both?
You're saying that the world isn't black and white. We can't win, or it
Yes.
has to be, somewhere in between.
You said Fediverse is the next evolution of the internet. I think it's the previous one, actually. I think we're going back to perhaps what it was, what a lot of people were thinking it was going to be.
Okay.
So
I see that, yeah.
We weren't. So I was working in Shoreditch in London during the sort of Web 2.0 explosion.
Mm-hmm.
And, we weren't thinking, let's build massive surveillance systems that fascists can use to push their agendas. That wasn't the user story.
What?
Right? We didn't have that one on a sticky note.
Wait, you're saying Sir Tim Berners-Lee didn't have a clue that this was going to happen when he opened this Pandora's box?
Yeah, right. God, I remember when that joke was like, he didn't really think it was all just going to be cat pictures. It was a more innocent time. Right?
Right.
But yeah, so that idea of like, hang on, we can use this to build good tools that connect people quickly and easily and understandably to each other in a way that hasn't been possible before. That was incredibly exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this explosion of innovation.
Yep.
Which was amazing too.
That we're still trying to chase today.
Well, that I think got that sort of explosion then got sort of funneled into the current state of things. But certainly talking to like other people in Fediverse projects and things like that, there's a lot of us who are sort of like, yeah, but that wasn't what we meant back then. What we meant back then was this, what we're doing now.
Yes.
So I think we're kind of perhaps we're remembering a little bit of our tech utopianism, perhaps maybe a little bit wiser this time, I hope.
Yes. And I look at it as, and again, this is optimistic or naive, I don't know, is that we have to heal the internet. We have to open it back up to allow people to make things in order to move on. Like I've looked at Bonfire and I've talked to the Bonfire guys. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, and it is so fundamentally different. But they're trying to build the tools to allow you to take it and move on with it. I feel like because we've locked down the internet, we've gotten behind these walls. We need to kind of, as you're saying, like step back before we can move forward again. And I guess that's where I look at it is that. How did you? How long have you been on the Fediverse? How did you find it? And what were your thoughts when you originally found it?
So I was, when did I first get on there? So I knew there were things like GNU Social and stuff like that. I knew they existed. Okay. But it was a very small sort of, it's a weird little side thing because at that point we were all having fun on Twitter. In the sort of the early.
So you were the problem.
2010s. Oh, I'm always the problem, mate. just ask my wife.
All right, I should be talking to her. Get her in.
The old ones are the best. I can No, I mean the early days, and this is something that I was listening to Andy Piper's episode. Hi, Andy, if you're
And he's
there.
amazing.
Yeah, yes. I was listening to this episode, and he was talking about the early days of Twitter, and that was in that sort of early time, like the 2010 kind of time, and yeah, it's amazing. It was, yeah, it was a wonderful thing. We were connecting, we were sharing, we were building our communities, right? And then, then it sort of exploded a few years later from there. But the if people haven't listened to it, listen to that episode, because what Andy says about and what you say about human-sized communities is absolutely bang on. I think what we tried to do, where we went wrong, I say we, was peripherally involved,
right,
is we did try to just put everyone in the same bucket.
Right. You try to
I think we forgot that we're human. And actually what the Fediverse is for me, is about human-sized communities that can connect to each other. So it's like, it's like living in a village where you know everyone, but also you know some people from the next one over and things like that. And those are human connections. And I think for a long time we thought, well, we don't want to have these small things because we end up in our filter bubbles, and we don't hear opposing opinions. And I'm actually fine with that. I like my opinions, and I'm okay with not hearing awful ones.
But it's an impossible task.
Yeah.
We
can't all absorb the entire world of stuff
and culture. I've said this to other people.
That we're human.
And I was talking to Quintessence before, who's the mod of Hachyderm.io, and she's brilliant, and I'm going to have her on in the future. But one of the problems with just basic language, just take basic language, you can say there, right? Let's take there for an instance. The word there, it has 3 different meanings, right? Two, 3, I don't remember, but the context matters, and we can have all of the smart AI glasses and or we can have a mod policy that says you can only use this there, not there, or there, and it will never fit because you don't understand what someone is talking about. We can get the words and still miss the meaning. And
I mean, we've known that's always the case on the internet since day one, right?
Right. And you have these corporate companies trying to
misunderstand people. And then we've decided to do that at scale.
And you try to sterilize it with 8 billion people. It's never going to end up well. Even if Twitter or Facebook or whoever the next one is has the best intentions, it's impossible. You can't do it.
I think the best intentions have to be fundamentally human.
Yeah.
They have to be fundamentally about people and connections and societies and communities.
Yeah.
And the plural in all of those is really important. What I love about the Fediverse is that it is all of these different communities.
Yes.
That have their own worlds and their own things, and I can go visit them. And I can talk to mine, and some people are in lots, and it's great. We are a plurality, all of us.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we should never forget that and try and sort of force it all into one thing. Anyway, I've tangented massively, but
anyway, I do that all the time.
So, the idea of Fediverse was interesting. I actually got my first account on Fediverse when Mastodon launched onto into the early adopter awareness, I suppose, 2017.
Fedi Sphere.
Well, it's sort of. I think it was kind of when it must have got a post on Hacker News or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It was the one where
you can never remember your first date of Mastodon, but you know it was there.
Yeah. And I set up an account on .social, and I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I thought, so apparently you can run your own. Let's try that. So in the typical domain name driven development fashion, bought a domain name, ran up a Mastodon instance on it, and went, "Oh, look, it works. I could do that. I can do that here now." And
Yeah.
I remember doing that sitting in a cafe in London. I was there for some reason, and I remember exactly where I was. Actually, it wasn't a cafe. It was the Royal Festival Hall, and I was sitting in the bar. I don't know why, but that's where I did it. Like between meetings, I think I set up a Mastodon instance.
Nice.
But that became mastodon.me.uk. That is just the instance that I set up for a laugh in while I was between meetings, and that has now a couple of thousand people on it, and is fully user supported. We have lots and lots of great people on there. It's a lovely community, and it's a nice place to be.
It's so weird to hear on the internet. Yeah, it's a couple thousand people, and you're like, oh shit, that's not that many. But then get a couple thousand people in one room together,
right,
and it's massive, and you can't like. I think there's this odd two universes, right? Where a couple thousand people is not that much. Too, this is way too many, and trying to manage that and juggle that is in your mind, it doesn't make sense, right? Especially when we're dealing on the scale of what corporate America has given us, which is if I don't have 100 million followers, I'm not a success.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a really interesting thing with that server, because for a long time it was just me. I was just, tootling about with it. I was kind of cross-posting between Mastodon and Twitter for a while. Eventually I got it so that I was just posting on Mastodon and would go across to Twitter, and so on. And then there were the various exoduses from Twitter, but the first big one, I think, was, I can't remember if it was when Elon said he was going to buy it or when they forced him to buy it. But there were lots of them anyway.
Yeah.
And on that day, anyone who runs a Mastodon instance will tell you that was an interesting day. We got like 500 account applications. No, we got 500 new accounts in like an hour.
Yep.
We'd gone from a couple of hundred accounts to a couple of thousand by the Saturday morning. At which point I put out a call for like, oh God, I need moderators. Some people, please help me. And because I had some people I knew on there, I got a lovely little moderator team who volunteered. And we decided, right, we're not going to accept all these. We're going to, put in review. We're going to make sure that people are coming for a sensible reason because they want to be part of that community.
Yes.
And we decided to not grow. So there was still hundreds of people coming in, and we just went, we don't want to grow that quickly, so we're going to turn this off for a while. Yeah. And not take any more accounts. And we've kept to that, and we've only ever grown sort of organically, and it's lovely. It's how we want to be.
But it's a painful decision, right? Because you want to help people get into it, but it is responsible to say, hey, we love that you're interested, but we're probably not the right community for you, right? Like I've recently got into PeerTube, and so I have PeerTube, I have tubefree.org as a part of my nonprofit BT Free, and there are some people that are coming, and I flat out tell them, hey, I've given you access to comment, you have an account, you can follow people, but if you want to upload your content, I need to see what it is, because my community might not be right for you. And there was someone that came, it's like, oh yeah, I want to upload. It's like, okay, well, what do you have? And they had a bunch of Bollywood videos, and I'm like, okay, those aren't yours. And like, while I want to help you set one up and you take the liability for that,
go
like,
for it.
That's,
absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm just like, at least where I'm at, that I can't do that, right? Because then I put it all in jeopardy. And it's like, Even
Well,
if
you're doing a different thing, right? At that point, you're not
right,
building your community. You're building
right,
an open for anything
and
type
and
place, and
it
that's
hurts
different.
to tell someone no in that situation because I want to help grow the Fediverse and I want to be as accepting as possible. But like you just can't. Like there are limitations, there are laws, there's money, there time. But like again, that's why I always go back to people. I'm like, if you want to set one up, I can, help you and give you recommendations and talk to you and things like that. And then unfortunately people disappear. I don't know where they go, but yeah, it's a double-edged sword, and you want to be welcoming to everyone. And then obviously someone will go somewhere else and be like, oh, they were mean to me. And it's like,
if you like,
yeah, that's,
that's fine. If you want to think that, go for it. But I think that's it's really important to,
but it's human.
Not be exclusionary.
Yes.
You don't want to be exclusionary, but you do want to, especially volunteer run stuff, we're running it. Like my business model is not, oh, I'm going to get rich by running a huge Mastodon server.
No one's this.
I'm not looking after it for a long time. It's been hosted by somebody who knows how to look after computers more than I do. But I pay the bill, and then we get donations, and people help me pay the bill, and that's great, and I'm perfectly happy with that.
And that's a community.
So that's a community, exactly.
That's how it works.
Exactly.
And I've talked to so many people who are like, well, this thing can't work, and I'm like, well, why can't it work? And like, because people have to moderate for free. It's like, have you looked at Reddit? All of Reddit has been built by free labor.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Like, again, we talk about tools. That's what Twitter are. That's what Facebook is. That's what Reddit is. It is the tool to allow you to post, and then the community moderates itself. But now all of these tools are saying, no. You now need to pay. How do we pay? Because you've given us for free, and we've given this to you for free. Well, there's ads.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Well, we can accept that. Oh, well, now there's more ads, and we're shutting down our APIs, and now we're harvesting all your data for AI. And it's like, wait a second.
It's like, this wasn't the deal.
This wasn't the deal. Yeah.
Yeah. I did a talk a little while ago, talking about ActivityPub and Corey's excellent word in shitification for this kind of thing.
Perfect.
And I explained it as when these things change, and used Corey's definition, and then flipped to a picture of Darth Vader saying, "I have altered the deal. Pray I do not alter it any further." Right? It's that. That's it.
Wait,
that's the thing. This was not what we planned.
Star Wars, that little movie. For those that can't see right now, James has a Jawa T-shirt on that says Utini. So it is not a surprise that he's referencing Star Wars. But no, exactly. But the millionaire sitting on top being like, well, it's time to grow up and be a real company. It's like, what do I get out of this? Like
this was fine. Stop breaking it. Right. But then, we're used to getting these things for free. So the flip side is that I think the Fediverse does very well is it has the maturity to understand that actually, okay, I do need to sort of pay for this if I want this. I mean, I've wanted to pay. I wanted to pay for Twitter since day one, right up until the point where I could have. At which point it was like, no, I don't want to now. Because reasons. But it's an incredibly good networking tool. It was a community, and it was like I would pay for this. I would pay for just this. You don't need to give me anything else. So I think the model of we've been lucky, I think, on Me UK to get we've got like about a year runway.
Oh wow.
Donations. Yeah, we've been lucky. The community's been was really generous initially, and then have kept up the sort of the monthly budget. So we feel very safe and very lucky. But I think it just goes to show that it can work. Yeah. But we should always remember there's plenty of luck involved.
Yeah, no, I mean you get and really when you again spread it amongst all the users, it is not very
Oh
costly
no,
for any of those, but you
no.
have to be willing. Like those
Well,
users
most
have
people
to be
don't pay.
willing. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
most people don't pay, but enough people do that.
That
Still,
it.
it's not very much,
Yeah.
but that will cover the costs, and
Well, and that's
that's hopefully something I can manage to do with Manifold as well. But we'll see
well, no,
whether
and
that's going to work.
I've literally had people I've talked to them about Owncast, and they're like, "Well, there's no way you can run a million viewers," and I'm just like, "Do you have a million viewers? Because
Yeah, right.
you might be able to. We don't know how much it'll cost you, but right now, I was doing it, for $5 a month. I've expanded my own casts a bit more. This one
Hmm.
specifically, I have a friend hosting it, so it does cost him. But there is nothing that big tech can do at this point that we can't, right? As long as we have the
Yeah,
tools, which
yeah.
ActivityPub gives us the tools to
Hmm.
emulate those. And I agree that we're rebuilding what we had 15 years ago, I think, roughly, but now we're able to iterate, and anyone can join us in this. Anyone can build. Let's talk about Manyfold. How did you, so for those that don't know, James runs a website. Well, that's the Mastodon there. Let me actually get up the Manyfold. Manyfold helps you organize and share your 3D print files. And after talking to you and understanding your background, it makes perfect sense, right? How you have gone from computer graphics to 3D printing, and then created ActivityPub integration. But before we get into all of that, I want to know, how did you come up with this idea?
So yeah, I got a 3D printer. Don't know, a few years ago,
Okay.
pre-COVID, I think, before COVID. Um, I got an FDM printer. It's over there in the corner still.
There was no
Just out of
pre-COVID.
shot.
That's not a thing. It's always been
in
with
the,
us, right?
the before times. Um,
There's so many before times right now. Before
Yeah,
pre-E, before COVID.
yeah. I'd like to live in some after times, to be honest. But anyway,
we'll wait for that, and we'll see how long that takes.
Yeah, right.
We might not be around.
Yes, my venerable Ender 3 Pro is over there. Very much the printer of Theseus, as so many are. All the bits have been replaced over the years.
Yeah.
Well, in the UK, I didn't use the UK term, but in the UK, it's Trigger's Broom, which is
okay, yep.
After a joke on a sitcom called Only Fools and Horses, where there's this character called Trigger who's a bit daft, and they say, "How long have you had that broom, Trig?" And he goes, "Oh, I've had this broom 20 years. It's had 7 new heads and 8 new handles."
Yeah.
So it's
never had.
It's the same broom, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I had that before COVID. I also then got myself a resin printer as well, and started doing some miniatures, as many people do with resin printers. And when you do that, you start becoming a bit of a data hoarder and start collecting all these models that you've downloaded into this big folder of doom. And you've got no idea what's in it anymore. And
I don't know if I ever need that one little clip 3D print, but just in case,
it
goes in the folder.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
This might be useful. I'll say that. Well, and especially because
it's like cables.
Especially in the miniatures world, things get taken down.
Yeah.
For many reasons. So it's helpful to keep a copy. So I had this big folder of Doom, which was unmanageable, and I could never find anything that was in it. So I thought one evening, you know what I can do? I can write a little with Three.js that can load the models. I can write a quick Rails app that will serve the models off disk into a Three.js renderer, and I'll be able to see what I've got. And that was how it started, basically. it started as a little self-hosted web app. It was a self-hosted web app rather than a desktop thing, honestly, because that was the quickest thing for me to write. So, and all the models were on a shared disk server. So I've been running things like Plex and stuff like that for many years. So it was like, oh, I've got a library of video. Maybe I can have a library of 3D models next to it. And so it's sort of inspired by those things. So I had built this thing and sort of then put it out as a self-hosted Docker container. Just kept fiddling with it and improving it over the years, and eventually because I was running Mastodon me.uk at the same time and exploring Fediverse, and eventually thought, oh, hang on, if I could make my own models public on this server, then actually maybe you could start getting them to talk to each other, and we could do ActivityPub. And so I put a very speculative application into the NLNet Next Generation Internet Fund for some money to spend some time on that, because I'm never going to do that kind of by myself.
Right.
So I won't have time. But that's a nice idea. I've put in so many speculative applications for things over the years, and none of them go anywhere. But it's they actually sort of came back and went, yeah, all right then. So I went to my job and said, so they've offered me some money to spend on time doing this thing, so I'm going to do that. So about the last year and a half or so, I've been working on it full time.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's gone strength to strength, really. It's becoming quite a still nowhere near complete. The bug list it just keeps getting longer. Not the bug list, sorry. The feature list, the feature request list is getting longer and longer all the time.
But so is it the feature list that people are asking for, or is this just things like, I would like to add this? Because the first one is great.
Bit of both.
A little bit of both? Okay.
Yeah, it's you've gone very sci-fi and echoey.
Oh.
Which is very exciting. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all right. The where was I? What were we talking about?
The feature lists and bug lists.
Oh
It's a good problem to have when people are requesting more things. It means that people want it and it's active and it's growing. And...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the best thing is when I put out a release and people report bugs quickly, because it's just like, oh my god, people are using it, and they're noticing they're actively using it. I had one, I think, that was down in one of the obscure settings pages and things like that, and somebody filed a bug with it 5 minutes after the release. I was like, my god, you're actually using this live. Like, you've not just run this up and gone, does it work? You actually are trying to use this thing, which is amazing. But yeah, the bug list is always there. All software, as we know, always has bugs, and always will. And the feature list is a combination of things that I wanted to put in it, and a combination of things that people are asking for, and a lot of things that I never thought of as well. And as you explore and build the software, you find the corners that you haven't thought of and go, oh, actually, that would be a good thing, or whatever. There is going to be a point where I need to go, okay, well, that's not something to bring into the core, and I want to work out how that's, what's that? I've just sort of completed getting like a full API on it. So at this point, I can kind of say, well, okay, I don't want that to be in the core, but you can build around it, sort of thing. So yeah, we'll see. But the 1.0 release keeps moving out. That I've completely lost track of. But
I've
got a list of things for 1.0, and it's like that might get there at some point.
As most projects in the Fediverse, though, it's open source.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
if
100%.
you're not doing something that someone really wants, or if you're not going in a direction,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
someone has the desire, the
Yeah.
knowledge, or willing to learn, you can
Yeah.
take it and you can build it out. Better yet,
Yeah.
you can help James build this, right? Like
Absolutely.
you're
And people
open for
have.
pull requests and
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people have. I've got a few people who contribute fairly regularly. Um, one guy who does so is using it as a way to learn Ruby on Rails, which is great.
oh wow.
I'm always more than happy to help people with that. Um, and yeah, every now and again you just get a random pull request from somebody who's fixed a little glitch that they came across or whatever, and that's fantastic. And we also have um, a bunch of people who do translations. So we've got it
Oh
set up
great.
for translation, and I think 6 or 7 languages at the moment, something like that. Spanish, French, German, and then the ones that are very much driven by somebody came along and said they wanted to do it. Czech, Polish, and there's another one that I've forgotten.
Well,
Oh,
Nate,
we're working on Japanese as well.
and what originally when I heard it that drive-by contributions, if you add up all the drive-by contributions, those being that people that just come in, do one little thing and move on, like those add significantly more oftentimes than the other code, and like every single one matters. And if you, again, if even if you're not familiar with Git, like there's so many people that are willing, this kind of thing used to be commonplace. When I first got on the internet in the 90s, like IRC was how you talk to people. Everyone was so welcoming and wants to talk to you. And that is more often than not how people are, because you've shown interest in their project. So if you're afraid of
absolutely
jumping in, just make that conversation and talk to people. They're more than willing to help you.
Yeah. I mean, some I know that some projects out there can be quite hostile to people sort of wandering in. I'm like, oh my God, somebody's interested. This is very exciting. I better not scare them off. I'll be really nice.
Right.
So yeah, but no, it's lovely. It's one of those things that's a real buzz about open source is people getting involved and going, oh yeah, I think the thing you're worth doing is worth putting a bit of my own effort into, and that's wonderful. I mean, one of the biggest milestones was probably about a year ago, where we've got a Matrix channel, because I refuse to go all the other places that people are, so I force them to come onto Matrix. I'm not doing it on Discord, because
Where's your Matrix? I don't see that listed on here either.
There is, I think there's a community page somewhere. It's on the website. There's a community page. It's on there, and it's in the README. But it's Manyfold at I think #Manyfold@matrix.org.
Oh, okay, cool.
We'll do it. There's a space.
I'll be joining that. Is why I'm asking.
Cool, nice. There was a day about a year ago, probably, where people were sort of popping in and occasionally asking support questions and like, oh, I couldn't get this bit going and things like that. And then the thing I will always remember is the day that somebody else answered the question.
Yes.
It wasn't me. It was like, oh my God, this has never happened to me. It's like, I've done so many little projects, so many things that I've tried to get off the ground, and all of them fall on their face. Well, and to have then somebody come in and answer a question, and then that guy is now this is the guy who's learning, using it as a way to learn Rails as well. He's done the Japanese translation. He actually did a booth at the Japan RepRap festival a couple of weeks ago. So we had a Manyfold booth there, which is great, which is put up by somebody who I've never met. It's great. I love the internet.
And for those that don't understand that kind of excitement, that is someone that joined your community and is not has not only invested in the time to understand it, but is comfortable enough to know that it's okay to answer those questions. That is a community person there, and that is very, very exciting for someone that is building something and that this thing is taking off. There was a Reddit. There was a video about Reddit where they built the tool and they were kind of using multiple accounts to drive it, and they woke up one morning and it was running itself. And that is so exciting for people because you hand over that trust and you could focus kind of on other things, and you're excited to see maybe people don't understand this, or maybe they do and they can extend it. And that kind of understanding is very rewarding for someone creating a project. So
really good point you make there that I've not really thought of before, that having got a place, having put in place a thing that is safe enough for somebody to go, I can solve this.
Yes.
And actually not be afraid of, me leaping down their throat or saying you're doing it wrong or whatever. That's really good. I hadn't really twigged that part before.
Give yourself a pat on the back. Yeah. No, and it's especially especially with, at least for me, I was always afraid to do something like this, a podcast, even show my face, give my background information, because someone's going to cancel me. I'm going to say one little thing and everyone's going to blow up at me and I'm going to go back to my hole. But it was never that way before this, and it doesn't have to be that way again. We can talk about these things. If you get it wrong, that's okay. We could talk about it as humans. We don't have to jump down people's throats. We don't have to brigade someone. Like, that is a good, that is a healthy community. That is a good relationship. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I try to instill in my kids is that mistakes are how we learn.
Yep. All the time I do that. Yep.
There was a phrase, I can't remember where I heard it, and I've got a horrible feeling it might have been from the podcast of yours that I was listening to the other day. But it was, it's that, sucking at something is the first step to being great at it.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
You can't be great without sucking at it first. And that's such an important, you can't understand something without not understanding it first. None of us are born able to do this stuff, and we're all human, and we have to remember that other people are human as well. Yeah.
No, and it's the biggest thing that I remember is, like, when I was trying to learn to ice skate, I was in my 20s. Yeah, I was in my 20s when I was first trying to ice skate, and you see these, 6-year-olds just doing laps around you, and you feel like, well, I just can't do this. I'm really dumb. And it's like, no, that kid, when you go to talk to their parents, like, oh yeah, we came when they were little and they just love it. So we're here every day. And it's like, shit, that kid has 6 years of practice on top of my 0. The age doesn't matter. And once you get over your own embarrassment of it, you can do all of that too. It takes practice.
It's like, I'm terrible at playing the guitar, but I still have lessons because I've got to be terrible in order to
get there.
One day be slightly less terrible.
Yeah. And that's, and we need to not compare ourselves to other. We need to compare ourselves to the day before of ourselves.
Run your own race. Yeah.
Run your own race. I love that. Yeah. So with Manyfold,
all of this stuff, you're a parent, right?
Oh yeah.
I can tell from the best dad thing.
Yeah.
As a parent, are you familiar with Bluey?
Like, even if I wasn't a parent, I would hope I would be familiar with Bluey, because that is one of the most wholesomely amazing shows ever.
But just everything that we just said, I'm pretty sure, I'm thinking, that's a Bluey quote. I'm sure that's a Bluey quote.
And yeah, no offense.
I have been well known to sit there and watch it on my own.
Yeah, and I hate to tell everyone I am the world's best dad, so I apologize to all the other dads. But
I thought that was me.
Nope, sorry.
I've got a badge and everything.
My kids assured me that I'm the world's best dad. But
I'm definitely the best one in this house.
Right? Yeah. That's my son the other day is like, "You're the best dad," and I was like, "Well, I hope I'm at least the best dad for you." Like, there's no one else, right? As far as I know. But
I think my daughter every now and again will say something like that, and then we'll leave it just long enough in the house, and I'll be like,
smart.
"My work here is done. Right?
Yeah.
This is good."
Yeah. So with
She's
something
also
like
just got obsessed with D&D dice and is
yes,
collecting them, and I'm like, I've done something right.
you're even
This is
better
amazing.
dad then. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think
she wanted to print some and paint them herself.
I literally was telling my son yesterday, I'd rather him play a game than sit there and watch a video, because gaming builds skill. It requires thought. It requires hand-eye coordination. Even and I'm a believer that you should game with your kids. Like my kids and I, we've played board games together. It builds community. It builds
Human connection.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
well, this is, I mean, I mentioned the miniatures, I've, there we go.
Nice.
Currently in progress, but, I played some Warhammer as a kid, and during COVID, sort of picked up some stuff again, and was like, "Oh, this is something I can do away from the screen. I can do a bit of painting. I'm not, and
you see physical
glued to
progress
a screen the entire time." And then once it sort of opened up, a community sort of coalesced here, and actually, it's really not about playing the game.
No,
it's actually just community. It's about a social connection, and that's, it doesn't matter what it is you're doing.
That's the thing that
essential.
I've told people is, but before I had kids, we would host a game night with our friends once a month, and then someone else would host one. So like 2 or 3 times every single month we were having game nights.
Yeah.
I kind of explained to new folks.
Now everyone has kids.
Right, yeah. But I try to explain to folks that are like, well, I don't know that board game and I'm not good at gaming. It's like, hang on a second. Board game night is not about the games. It gives us an excuse to get together and focus on a common goal while we get to know each other.
Yeah.
It is,
couldn't agree more.
It is the icebreaker.
Yeah.
And
yes, exactly.
And it doesn't matter who wins.
No.
It really doesn't.
If you had a good time, you won.
Right. And it's such a blast for everyone to try to learn together, and then we all make mistakes, and that's the fun bit for me.
Yeah. And that's just as well, because certainly speaking in terms of Warhammer, I haven't won a game in years. I am terrible. But but I have a good time, and that's fine.
The only one that wins at Warhammer is the company that created Warhammer, because it's expensive.
That is true.
That is true. I want to say Wizards of the Coast, but they did D&D. I don't think they didn't do
Warhammer. Games Workshop.
Games Workshop. Thank you. Yeah, they're definitely the winner of all of this.
Oh, yeah. Though they've got some things to adapt to.
As the world moves on, right?
Good way to say it. They're going to have to come to terms with the world of 3D printing.
Or they can, go Wizards of the Coast and no, you can't have any of this. Okay.
Well, I think
we'll make our own at home.
If Lego can navigate the loss of their patent and become more successful in the process of doing so, then there's a lesson for everyone there. Quality
matters.
Yeah.
Back to Manyfold, because we get so distracted. But so how does Activity Pub work with Manyfold?
So basically, what I wanted people to be able to do was, or what I wanted to be able to do was like have my little local collection, and if somebody updated a model on Thingiverse or something, I don't know how familiar you are with the world of 3D printing, but Thingiverse is one of the big posting sites,
right?
And Manyfold was also inspired by the fact that for a long time Thingiverse was terrible. Its search was just broken, and they weren't doing anything with it. They weren't fixing it. They were just, it was rotting. It's not quite so bad now, but that was another inspiration. But if somebody updates a model, I want to know, and ideally, I want it just to sync down and pull into my local copy, right? So that I can stay up to date with changes, things like that.
Yeah.
Not quite there yet.
Yeah. No. But yeah.
So that was sort of the inspiration. But then things like, okay, if I'm following a creator, I want to know when they've posted stuff, whatever. All of those things, when a model's updated, when somebody puts something in a collection that I'm following, or things like that. And so all of those things become what are called actors in ActivityPub world, which if you're on Mastodon or something like that, your actor is your account, you. In Manyfold, the actors are the objects and the sort of creator profiles and collections, so you can follow those. So if I have an account where I log in to Manyfold, you're not actually following me, you're following my creator profile, you're following my models, things like that.
Right. Okay.
So it's not quite so. It's not an exactly like one-to-one person to actor type relationship.
Sure.
But that means that you can follow just a single model from another server. You can follow a collection. You can follow a creator and see everything, and so on. And those will sort of appear in your local instance, a bit like looking at federated posts on Mastodon. And what we also do is we do some cross network stuff. So if you're following a Manyfold object from another Manyfold instance, we can say, right, we know everything about that. We can pull it in. We can display a rendering. It will just seamlessly fit in. If you are following a Manyfold object from a Mastodon account,
that was my next question. Yes,
it will pop up as it'll come up as notes, as statuses when things happen.
Oh.
So if you follow a creator, when they post a new model, it'll come up in feed as a note.
Okay.
So it's kind of it treats those slightly differently, which I think is a really interesting thing about ActivityPub and the different types of content you have. ActivityPub is not about microblogging. It's all sorts of content, right? And actually, okay, the dominant form is probably microblogging, but you've got long form stuff with Ghost, you've got and others, you've got forum type interactions with NodeDB, you've got Lemmy, you've got all these other things,
right?
And how do they how do they operate and how do they act in those things? So actors aren't just people who are posting on their profile; they are also any object can be an actor. Anything out there, I can follow. A 3D model. I could go and follow a band on Bandwagon.
Yes.
Things like that. I really need to talk to the guy who's there's some really interesting overlap with Bandwagon.
Ben Pate.
Talk to the guy about. Yeah.
I
haven't spoken to him yet. We tried to last week, and time.
He's massively busy. Yeah, I'm trying to get him on. Yeah. He's really busy, but yeah, Ben is, and this is why I think that again, ActivityPub can be essentially the next iteration of the internet. Is folks like yourself, folks like Ben, someone in a place you've never heard of, can take this and iterate on it and build something we've never thought of. Right? They can make this one little thing just for me, and all of a sudden it blows up.
Yeah.
And that's something that Twitter, Google, Facebook are not interested in doing, because it doesn't hit the bottom line. Maybe at one point they were interested, but they're a company and they have to focus on the company.
It's what we tried to. It's what the sort of the early Twitter adopters did through the API and things like that. There was so much creativity around what can we do with this. And one of the first things that got me on there was the Tower Bridge bot that would tweet every time Tower Bridge opened up, and it would tell you what ship was going through.
Everyone knows about the toilet. The toilet that tweeted whenever someone used the toilet, right? Like
right. That's fun and whimsical and
right.
art, right? And that's exciting.
And
I
it will
think closing
never,
that stuff down is a huge loss.
and it'll never, something like a toilet Twitter bot will never justify a $10,000 per month API access. It can't,
No.
and neither should it. And
Right.
that's
I love. I had a couple of stupid little Twitter bots, which obviously then you couldn't run anymore because they took down the API. But then coming to Mastodon and having being able to use cheap bots, Toot Sweet, to make dumb little bots. It's just it's the artistic whimsy of the thing that this creative freedom, I think, and that's lovely.
Yep.
But yeah, the community of people building stuff around ActivityPub and that diversity of types of application, types of object, things like that. I mean, I need to talk to Ben because Bandwagon are talking about how do bands sell their music through ActivityPub or through this kind of world. How does that work? And that is exactly something that is on my roadmap because a lot of 3D creators are, a lot of it's commercial, right?
Yep.
People want to get paid for their work, and that's perfectly reasonable.
And they should.
So how does that work in an open way that is still self-hostable, that is still empowering, that I don't have to collect everything together in order to provide a marketplace?
No, I
so
foresee
the fact
a
that
way.
Somebody else is also attacking this problem is brilliant.
No, and I foresee, if this thing continues to work the way it goes, I foresee that you as an artist can decide to run your own instance. So you manage it. It's all within your control.
That's the ideal.
And you can get paid that way. And everyone knows it's you because it's your name at your domain. Yes, you still have to watch for scammers that, change one letter or something like that. But it is a bit more work. But in my opinion, it's a better way where you own your content fully.
This is the thing that, and the point you make about trust there is huge as well. This is why we want news organizations, things to be running accounts to be running instances on their own domains and things like that, because I know that this is reliable from the source because it is on their domain, and that comes with all the security that comes with. Is
NPR at mastodon.social the right one, or is it NPR at npr.org? Oh, okay. Exactly. Well, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So, I think there's a lot of power there, and there's a lot of power to be distributed there, and I think that's the difference. Is this inherently distributes the power?
Yep.
Right?
Back
and
to the
was
people.
What we hoped the internet would be.
Yep.
Is a way of distributing power, and what we've seen over the last 15 years is actually it's also an extremely effective way of centralizing power and centralizing narrative and control. And we are definitely approaching some kind of peak there.
Hopefully.
How this is going to work out, how this all works out will remain to be seen. But
it's interesting because I obviously those on the Fediverse are interested in the Fediverse, but I've started talking to just random folks that I know, friends that are not tech people. They're obviously not on the Fediverse. They don't even know what it is. Again, they've kind of heard of PixelFed or Mastodon because it's been in the news a bit. But when I pivot the conversation and I say, how would you like it if you controlled your own little social media? And they're like, I am so sick of the ads and the misinformation and the privacy issues. And, my phone the other day pitched me an ad when I never searched it, but I talked about it. And I'm not.
This continual conversation in our house is that my wife will go, Facebook's just advertised me that thing that you were talking about. Like,
but no, they don't listen. They don't listen in, right? And I'm just like, but there's so many people, and there's no way for me to say the normies, the average people, or not tech focused people that are like, I'm so sick and tired of it. And it's like, okay, so you're sick and tired of it. So we have the emotional bit there. How do we get it easy enough that grandma and grandpa, or aunt and uncle, or even it's gotten to the point where I've heard from folks that kids are not as tech savvy as us because they don't have to be, and that's fine. How do we bridge that
My
gap?
daughter only has one social media account, and that is because I set her up on PixelFed.
And that's what I hope to get.
And
to.
I've explained to her why that is why this is a thing and whatever. So yeah, I'm doing my bit to indoctrinate.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm trying to do as well.
Yeah, it's. But I think there you're coming back to something we started with, right? That 5-minute success.
Yeah.
Right? And there are some really hard problems there.
Yes.
We know. I read another post yesterday of 7 terrible UX things about the Fediverse. It's like, yes, all those things are true. And
what is a solution?
Yeah, I mean there are solutions, and we build them, and people are building them.
Yeah.
And that's none of that is to say that we shouldn't be criticizing the way things work, because we only get better by criticizing, right? You have to,
You have to criticize, but we have to do it constructively.
You have to see the issue. Yeah,
it's not just this is shit and then you walk away. Okay, stop.
Yeah.
You don't like it. What don't you like about it? How do you think we can make it better? Right? Yeah. And you don't have to have the answer, but at least tell me, okay, well, I ran into this issue. We want to know that, right? And I think as we were talking about, I think it was pre-show, activity pods could be a way for, okay, well, just go sign up, I'll get you an activity pod, and then you pick how you want to ingest this stuff.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And I think that
that has to be, we have to get to a point where these things are easy.
Yes.
Because that's the thing that the big social media have done very well, is they've made it, install the app, there you go. Right? That's easy. We can't, we're doing this for whatever of our own reasons, but fundamentally we think this is a better way of doing things. It can't just be a better way of doing things for some people.
Yes.
We've got to keep doing the work too, and people are doing the work, and to make it more that we can distribute that power to everyone, not just to the privileged. And
I'll go even farther with it's easy, because I've worked at Red Hat, and I've talked to people that literally code in C in their sleep, and when I ask them a question, they'll say, "Oh, it's easy." It's easy because we know how to do it, right? And when we talk about easy, we don't mean
it's easy because I've been doing it for 30 years.
Right. We're not talking about James Smith easy, who can build an entire toolkit. We are talking about, you have to look at Apple, you have to look at Google, and make it that easy. As much as we don't like making it that easy, because it takes away from learning it, if you want to redistribute that power, I think that's a great way to say it, redistribute that power, we have to make it that easy so that, again, grandma can pick it up and just go.
Yeah.
And I hate
and there's no fundamental conflict between, good UX and good open source software, right? I think because open source is normally built by very small teams with people scratch their own itch, right? This is where I started with these things. That's what we all do, and I would love to see a greater. I would love there to be communities of UX experts coming and scratching their own itches with our tools and saying, I don't know what to fix, right? One of the best things about the NLNet funding was that it comes with a bunch of other services. So it comes with, you can get a security audit. You can get an accessibility audit. I'm not an expert in either of those things. I'm not an expert in a lot of things. I'm very much a generalist. But I'm not an expert in those things, so I don't know what to fix.
Right.
If you can tell me what I need to fix, like you pointing out, where's your donation link? If you could tell me what to fix, I can fix it.
Yep.
That's fine. But I don't.
You don't know what you don't know.
Nobody can. You don't know what you don't know, and nobody can know all those things because,
Yep.
as we said earlier, we all contain multitudes. So,
And
yeah,
it's
I would love things like that to be. I really want to know the people who are as obsessive about good technical writing and documentation as I am about code and building functionality. Right, they must be there somewhere.
and they are.
If
And
you're
those
there,
skills
I need
and
help.
and those skills matter. Like and for folks
They're
that are like
incredibly
I
important.
am and this is one of the things that frustrates me. I was literally talking last night to my community about this and like, oh well, I'm just a random guy. It's like we're all just random guys.
We're all random. Yeah, exactly.
I've said this and I'm not even like I'm not trying to be cheesy or anything when I say this. Like I can't do everything. No one can. Linus Torvalds did not make the Linux kernel by himself. But together, all of us together with all of our experiences, we can do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
We literally can.
And I think if we approach it with humility and with the knowledge that we don't know all the answers, which I think is the most important thing you can take into any product development process.
Yeah.
Knowing that we don't have all the answers and that other people know things we don't, and it's not a bad thing.
And right? as a great example, this show, like someone made the background for me, someone made the start intro for me, someone has helped me set up my audio so it was better. People have pointed out that the lighting's terrible. Like these valuable constructive criticisms and help. I could not have made this show as good as it is, which I still think I have a long way to go, but I can only do one small piece. And like, I love talking to people. And I know being in the tech industry, there's a lot of people that they can do the tech side, but they can't talk to people. Yeah, and that's okay. And I'm more than happy. I found my place, and it takes all of us. And together, I think this again is why this is going to work. But so
I absolutely agree. And I'm at the point now with Manyfold where I've built a thing that has a lot more in it than people know, because I know where it all is. I know how to do it all.
Yeah.
I haven't really explained that to anyone else. So, every now and again somebody will go, oh, if only I could do this thing. I'm like, oh, you can, it's there.
And you're
like, oh. But yeah, that's it's hard. And that's especially hard to do on your own. And I think there are some people who can who seem to be able to cover multiple disciplines pretty well, and I am immensely envious of those people.
Before we lose James, someone that is a tech document writer, please sit down with him and get it all written down. Like, it's out there. The code's out there. So if something happens,
any software project, the developer is the worst person to write how the thing works.
Oh, horrible. No.
You don't want to get me to do it. I once wrote I once did a bit of user testing in a previous job where we built this. It was sort of a like a search tool, and you could just sort of type in the thing that you want to do. It was around climate emissions, and you could pretty much just do like natural language, like, oh, what are the emissions of 400 cows farting? It's always my favorite example. And it would work it out. It would do it. It would tell you. It was amazing. And we did some user testing with it and had given people a task of a thing to solve. And I remember watching over the shoulder for 45 minutes before I finally caved in and went, there's a search box there. And it wasn't like, oh my God, you're so stupid. It was like, oh my God, what have I built? How have I done it that badly? They had no clue where to start. Right, that's on me.
Like it frustrates me whenever I see someone say, when I ask a question or I see someone ask a question, like, well, just read the man pages. And it's like, dude, I know to read the man pages, and a lot of man pages are not in English. No. They are written in English, but they are not understandable in English. They are understandable in engineer. And I am like, I've literally, IBM's...
I'm an engineer and I hate man pages.
Right. IBM's AIX. Like, I've literally, or hell, even Red Hat's, like I've put in pull requests for documentation because I'm like, this is not saying what you think it's saying.
Mm.
Like, it makes sense in your head.
Have you ever seen the Git man page generator?
No, that sounds awful.
It's phenomenal.
Oh, is it good?
No, it's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing because it's. I think you can search for it. It'll come up, but it just generates random documentation that looks exactly like it could be a Git man page.
Mm-hmm.
And because normal Git man pages are impenetrable, it might be true. Who knows? It's just...
we can't...
absolutely amazing.
I hate to say this. We keep talking for hours, I feel like days, but now for the real reason I asked James here is to give him an opportunity to win a prize of a lifetime.
Oh.
Our prize today is a 3D printer that only prints 3D printers, that only print 3D printers all the way down. I thought about...
excellent.
Yeah, I thought about
a von Neumann machine. A von Neumann replicator.
Is that... I knew there's
the great thing is you only need one.
Right, exactly. I thought
There's
about...
definitely a valuable life lesson to be had in that as well.
We thought about a real 3D printer, but my 3D printer money printer ran out of money printing money, and I was told that might be illegal to 3D print money, so I didn't go with that one. But
yeah. For a while in a previous office, we did have a 3D coffee printer. That was pretty good.
Ooh, sounds interesting. But
just a perfectly normal coffee machine. Prints coffee.
That is true. It does. Yeah.
Anyway,
I've become a coffee snob. But are you ready for the quiz, James?
No.
If that is your real name.
That is, yeah. I'm not sure.
You're not ready? Okay. Well, too bad. We're going.
Exactly. I figured that would be the answer.
Yeah. Favorite movie and why is it Spaceballs?
Oh, interesting. It's not Spaceballs. It's very interesting to see Spaceballs 2 is a thing. That's fascinating.
You know what? For years, people are like, hey, Spaceballs 2 is coming out. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's been a rumor for the last 30 years. It's not coming, guys. Yeah. And then literally everyone across the Fediverse was like, Ozoned, he made an actual announcement. And I'm like...
You're not getting me like that.
Well, but then someone in my matrix was like, no, here's the link. And I went and I watched it. And I'm like, I'm excited that everyone knows me for this. And I'm just excited. But I'm also scared as hell.
Yeah, right.
So...
It's, yeah. Favorite movie. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is difficult because it changes. Empire Strikes Back is obviously an incredible movie.
Okay.
I think The Last Jedi might be better. I'm one of those people.
And that's the end of the show today, folks.
Yeah, I disagree with most of the internet on that. It might be
okay.
The one I like best.
You are entitled to your wrong opinion, but please.
That's yeah. But yeah, I suppose I have to stick with one of those with the Star Wars thing.
Okay.
Somewhere because they're just so much fun. But a lot of the time when I'm just want to relax into something comfortable, I'll put on Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is a phenomenal film. It's
sorely underrated by Hollywood. It is. That movie is a masterpiece.
Yeah, absolutely. Edgar Wright is just...
Oh my God, he's amazing.
Yeah. Have you seen the is it Every Frame a Painting? Did a YouTube video on the visual storytelling in that film and in his other films as well. And the way he truly uses the medium.
And evolves it. Like he That is the best way. So, I mean, obviously we have Marvel movies, which are comic book movies, but no, he took a comic book and used that as a vision and seamlessly melded the two in ways that I didn't know were possible until Scott Pilgrim came out. It is absolutely a gorgeous piece of cinematography.
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Full of great music.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic performances.
I actually hate that movie for parts about the music because I want more of that music, and they only exist in that movie. Which is painful.
I was very, very pleased when I discovered the actual release of Black Sheep by Metric, which was the Clash at Demon Head song.
Yeah. That's one of the songs that I absolutely love too. I didn't know that was released.
Superb.
Okay.
Yeah. And I insisted on learning to play it on the guitar badly. So that's always a good comfort movie.
That's great. All right. Next question. Lawful evil, chaotic good, or true neutral?
There you go. Chaotic whimsy. If I'm gonna now, is the question real life or to play? Because I will go very opposite directions here, right?
So
real life, I would like to think neutral good. Right?
Okay.
Because there are bad laws, right? And they need to be broken. And there are people that need helping. And so that's good. To play, well, if you could see that wall there, you would see it's covered in Lego TIE Fighters. To play, playing the bad guy is enormous fun.
Yes.
I will always choose to play the bad guy.
Well,
but I would never be the bad guy.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean.
No, and it's the fun thing that I love about the D&D alignment system is everyone comes up with their own definition for it, and no one is right or wrong. Like, they left it so loose for a reason, right?
Yeah. But chaotic whimsy, as it says on my
chaotic. I love that. And to continue on with the D&D thing, because I'm a huge D&D nerd, and obviously so are you. Next question is, the deck of many things or a bag of holding?
Ooh, interesting. Now, see, I'm not that much of a D&D nerd.
Oh,
I know these things. I've not actually played that much. I am aware of it. I think if you had a bag of holding, you could put a deck of many things in it.
I see.
So I'm gonna go with the technicality on that.
Okay.
I think.
No,
mainly because I don't actually know what the deck of many things does.
See, I would think that you're more of a bag of holding, guys, because you have a folder of doom, as you put it.
True.
And a deck of many things.
But then I think my brain probably works more like a deck of many things.
Yeah, deck of many things is a very random. It's a deck of many things.
Then my brain is definitely one of those. It's where are we going to go today?
Yeah, it's kind of I've seen it specifically defined as very specific cards that do very specific things, but I look at it as more of a deck, a DM's playground. It could be,
right.
It could be you pull one and it's a wish. You pull one and it's a curse. You pull one and it's just a card, right? So
this is almost like
and I'll wait.
It's almost sort of oblique strategies for D&D type thing.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I can combine obscure references. So
the best way to get comments is to say the wrong thing. So I'm gonna wait for the comments to be like, "That's not what a deck of many things is," and I'll be like, "Okay, good, I got you to comment."
You're engaged now.
Yes, you're mine.
You're mine. adding one to the scoreboard.
Yeah, right. I've told people before. They're like, "Do you have any hobbies?" It's like, "Yes, I collect people."
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because I love. This is all right.
I seem to collect hobbies.
Poorly, but yeah. All right. So next question: what does an alternate universe James do?
Oh, interesting. Interesting. I think if I hadn't been this, I would want to be a physicist of some kind, like astrophysics or something like that, because I find that all endlessly fascinating. My sister is an astrophysicist, which is just, yeah,
What's it
awesome.
what's it like to not live up to your sister and to disappoint your parents greatly? Then
Oh, I've got a lot of practice.
no,
The,
one of the best things that I absolutely love is was it Matt Groening? I think
mm.
Futurama. If you ever seen Futurama, they had
Oh, my daughter is watching is going through the whole series at the moment.
most people don't know this, but Futurama had the most educated writing staff in all of
Yes.
Hollywood at one
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like he did an interview that I think it was Matt Groening or maybe it was someone else. I don't know, but he had like a PhD in astrophysics and his parents had a PhD in astrophysics. And like when he said, "Yeah, I'm going to go write cartoons," the reporter's like, "So what did your parents say?" To like, next question. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Futurama for that.
Yeah.
I mean, they got actual science out of it, didn't they? They did
Yeah.
the theorem of the body swapping thing that I can't quite remember what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's
yeah,
a brilliant show. But
I love when art produces science in that way.
yes.
That you have that sort of thing, but also like the black hole rendering in Interstellar was done for the movie, but because they did the simulations in such detail for the movie to make it look realistic, they published scientific papers on, oh, actually, this is what
Well,
they look like,
you
which came out of um,
I
the
mean
graphics work for the movie.
we go back to Star Trek, right? When Star Trek came out, they were asked by technologists how they got the doors to open and close because they wanted to patent it selling it. And they're like, we have two people behind the doors that open and close them. They're like,
Making
oh.
noises.
Yeah. Yeah.
We watched Galaxy Quest the other night with my daughter. We're slowly going through
It's so
the
fun.
canon of fantastic films. So
That's a good
yeah,
one. But
working up to the Abyss and Close Encounters, which are also a couple of my favorite films.
oh, Abyss, how old are your kids? Abyss, that's going to be, it's a great movie, but it is,
She's 12.
okay, she's probably at the right age.
Should be all right. Should be all right.
So,
I did show her Jurassic Park when she was 9, and she cried. When the
I can't imagine why. A guy gets
No.
eaten and torn in half. I don't,
I was surprised. Actually, that was quite a bit more graphic than I remember it being.
oh,
There's a
yeah.
lot more ragdolling than I thought there was.
Yeah, that
Um,
horrifying.
and yeah, then the entire family was like, "Okay, we're going to stop that." I'm like, "No, you can't stop now because if you stop now,
That's what
the
you're gonna
memory that
remember.
you'll have, right?
Yeah.
You have to get through. That's the worst bit. Very few more people die, and then they go through the rest of the film. And I'm like, apart from that guy,
Graphically. Let's say
and
this.
apart from that guy,
He doesn't just
okay,
die.
nobody else. Now they all make it. Oh no, not him. Okay.
He graphically viciously dies in that. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, it was. I didn't remember it being quite as. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of movies that I want to show my kids that I'm like, I need to rewatch that first because, but, so I reached out to an alternate universe, James, with my alternate universe phone here. Don't ask. It's very technical. Nice. I mean, it's easy for me to understand, obviously, because I invented it. But so I reached out to an alternate universe, James.
The documentation's not great, but
it's right here. It's fine. No possibly could happen. And he said he actually runs a company called Manyfold. And I was like, oh, well, you run Manyfold. But Manyfold,
that's a coincidence.
In his universe, is it's an origami company. And they make
nice.
origami shoes, which sounds great, but apparently they don't really work to wear. And especially when they get wet, he has some things
tricky.
Figure out. But best of luck.
Yeah.
To
Still trying to find product market fit, I imagine.
Yeah. So
good
next
in
question.
A dry climate.
Right? Yeah. Next question is pink or purple?
Purple.
Purple? Okay, why purple? Evil James.
Honestly, first thing that comes to my mind is Gene Stealer purple in a Warhammer reference. So I don't know,
yeah.
purple. It's just cooler.
Cool. Okay.
It's nicer.
There you go.
I've got more purples than I have pinks. So there you go.
Okay. It works. Yeah. All right.
I can't rationalize that decision. What the hell?
Why not? I mean, it's obviously
up or down.
It's. I've literally asked up or down.
Have you?
Yeah. I asked,
if you did left or right though, I wouldn't know because I am one of those people I can't do it.
I did left or right.
If I think about it really hard, I still get it wrong.
I think it was last episode with Ms. Kirsten. I think I did left or right, and she said left, and I said why? And she said because I'm right-handed and left is unique. I said, there you go.
Same reason most people pick number 7 when after a random number.
There you go.
It's different,
but it's not.
Or is it?
Maybe
that's what it wants us to think.
And I think this one will be interesting. This last question, because I want to see if your brain goes to where a lot of people's brains go. And due to an earlier conversation, I think it just might. But as usual, our last question is sent to James telepathically. I will telepathically send it to you. I will let you know when it gets there. Obviously, you know, because we're both telepathic. But for our audio listeners, it gives them the key that I have sent it. Okay? So here comes the question. Take your time. It's a very complex question. Give yourself a minute if you need to. Okay, you ready? Here it comes.
Yep.
Okay. There's the question. Take your time. Think about your answer. And I mean, again, I'm telepathic. I already know what the answer is, but we need to verbalize for all those that are not.
Yeah. Well, it can't be anything other than 42.
I knew it. I knew that's what was coming. We were talking about Douglas Adams.
I primed you for that. Certainly.
Yeah. That is the most common answer. I mean, I did ask what is 21 plus 21, and it is 42, but
there you go. We got the most common answer, but you didn't ask the most common. You didn't ask the.
No, I've yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, it is always my fault.
That's
yeah. Because the last time I asked it, I did ask what was 42 times 1. So I guess it really is a me problem. Yeah. Should try and change up that question, I guess. But anyway, congratulations! You got every answer either correct or incorrect. Surprisingly, good job. I do have some bad news. Our community member Eddie was bringing you your prize, and he accidentally started the 3D printer, which prints 3D printers infinitely, and because of that, it did rip a hole in space-time.
Damn!
And it
disappeared. That is a problem. I did that with mine the other week. Yeah.
There's no easy.
It's one of the things
they
no, not really.
Maybe the Manyfold origami James will get it and can send it back, or physicist.
The other end.
Yeah.
There you go.
Physicist James can figure it out.
He'll find it. And well, I think probably having a wild von Neumann replicator wandering around is probably best not to. So.
Well, I mean, what's the worst that can happen is that it rips a hole in space-time.
True.
So, but
I mean, rips a hole in space-time, then doesn't fall through. It would probably be better.
That would probably be worse. Yeah. It just keeps doing it. Yeah, that I can see how that could be bad. But I'll make sure to punish Eddie accordingly by dropping him into a hole in space-time.
A good whipping.
Yeah. So, but that's all we have today, folks. As much as I hate to, I would love to keep having this conversation, but real life probably is calling me. My son was calling me earlier, but thank you all so much for coming.
I have about 5 minutes before my children come in the door, so yes.
Yeah, that's a good timing then. That's good. Yeah. But again, thank you, James, for all you do. Thank you so much for investing in the Fediverse. Thank you for giving us Manyfold. It is really interesting, unique. I'd love to see how people are taking this. Thank you for open sourcing it and giving back. You didn't you don't have to do that, but That is greatly
Thank you to
appreciated.
everyone who did all the work that let me do that in the first place.
Thank you to yeah, exactly. And thank you to all the folks out there. You might just be just a random person, but you all are the reason that we are doing this, to interact with you, to work with you, to help with you. And it takes,
we're all just random people.
We're all just random people. It takes everyone's knowledge and experience and help and desire and passion to do all of this. So seriously, thank you to all of you. And thank you very much to the admins and the developers of everything. I'm going to have donation links to James and Manyfold. Don't forget to donate to your admins, your developers. As much as we give this out for free, people's lives do cost money. And if this is a part I hate, but I have to do it because we all have to advocate for it. I do have a nonprofit organization called BT Free that is set to advocate for the Fediverse and help grow it and expand it and digital privacy rights. And if you like what we're doing here, please don't hesitate to donate to us. All the money goes right back into the Fediverse. I have a peer tube, but I'm hoping to advocate more for the Fediverse. And eventually, if it gets to the point, I will be donating right back into the Fediverse. So it's all cyclical. But that's all we have for today. So thank you all so much. And I wish everyone a great day. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.